game previously and see if you can have some success in the fourth quarter.
Guess who's back there at quarterback? Zane Adams, the hefty boys. Bringing it in is he's going to run it up left tackle, breaks one tackle, lowers his shoulder, brought down. That time a great tackle. That was Dover who went for the ankles and was able to bring him down. And as you're motioning there, smart move by Dover.
Yeah, take a look at the replay. Zane Adams, big number 79, 6'4", 255 pounds, coming downhill at you. If I'm Dover, I'm going for his legs too.
Yeah, there is no point in trying to tackle up high. He's not going to be able to bring him down.
You don't even see running backs at the next level at that size. So do what you can. And you can see Zane got a little bit of speed on the outside there too.
He bounced off left tackle. And when you get that man running downhill, I don't want to get in his way. The normal quarterback, Jacoby Goldsby, will be back under center. So he drops back. They're going deep towards the end zone, and it is intercepted. Ball was thrown towards the inside, and that is Jason Hubler who comes up big for the Gore Pirates and stops the momentum of the Haymakers.
And you can see Goldsby goes across his body back to the farthest point of the field, and instead of the receiver coming back for the ball and putting up a fight, number 20 comes over and makes a play, never gives up on it, and you can see Jason track down the ball and put it in his breadbasket. A nice diving attempt, and he gets this offense another opportunity.
A memorable moment for the senior Hubler as he gives the Gore Pirates the ball back and stops what was looking like a promising drive for the Haymakers. 10:51 left in the fourth quarter. Ball on the 5-yard line.
And they're breaking out the pickle juice over here on the Gore Pirates sideline.
Does that give it to Dover, who falls forward for a yard or two? Lots of guys getting massaged out here on the Gore sideline. Cramps become a factor.
Tell you a story, Seth.
Oh, hit me with it.
Before every ball game in my high school career, I would go home. My dad would make us do two things: eat a Snickers bar and drink a bottle full of pickle juice.
Was it because you aren't you when you're hungry?
Exactly. He saw Emmitt Smith did it, so it was good enough for Emmitt Smith. It was good enough for me.
He's got plenty of time as he throws across his body and just out of the reach of Dalton Searly. Weston Shanks, hey, he had plenty of room to run, but decided to go for the home run. And Searly was open too, just overthrew him by a smidge.
Just a smidge. He was wide open. There were so many options right there in that play. There was nothing but green grass in front of him, but you can't forget he's a quarterback, and you got to do what the play call tells you to do. And he had a receiver wide open in the middle of the field, tried to make it happen, but just a little too much mustard on that hot dog.
Searly had his man beat, but Shanks was all alone out here in the flat. If he would have taken off, he would have 20 yards before anybody would have come even close to him. Brings up 3rd down and 8. Gore back deep in their end zone. In their territory, pardon me. As the fake is to Dover, they hit the man in the flats. That's Dane Perryman. Perryman with a touchdown already moves the chains as the play action works to perfection.
Good job as you check out the replay. The same play, like I said, find the plays that worked and go back to them. Right there, play action. Perryman open once again, but this time he slips just a little bit. It slows him down, and it allows Zane Adams to come from behind and pull him down.
It's a name that we've said often, Zane Adams on the night. Defensive end for Haskell and part-time quarterback, making it happen. But Gore gives it to Dover. Shanks gives it to Dover, pardon me, makes a man miss right on the 30-yard line, but there's a flag. And this could be coming back.
And I didn't see the flag, but it's a good job by number 60 over here, this left tackle, letting go of his man when Dover goes by him, not getting the holding call, but I think somebody else decided to hold for the Pirates. And this one is coming back.
Looked like Jesus Thomas was on the outside and just held on to his man just a little too long. And that's a big penalty if you're Gore, because you were going to be positive yards again. Even if Dover doesn't get the first down necessarily, he's ahead of the chains. You're moving, and the clock is running.
Hey, man, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Blocking is a skill, and it's a hard thing to do, and you're finding that out here, especially with these wide receivers.
Shanks fakes the handoff to Dover, and he's got room around the left side. Makes a man miss around the 40-yard line, brought down from behind as he falls forward to the 48-yard line. That time it was lane man on the tackle, but not before Shanks could rumble and tumble for a gain of over 20.
Shanks on a fine run brings up enough yardage for a goal.
See him, they fake the handoff to Dover. And hey, like I said, slippery.
And he goes down hard right there. Brought down his head hitting the ground first. If I was the coaching staff, I'd take a look at that real quick.
Gore was backed up on their own 5-yard line to start this drive. Play clock running down, and the Gore Pirates will have to take a timeout. Their second timeout of the half. That leaves them with one and could become a factor in a 14-7 game.
Definitely could be a factor. Those penalties could cost them, man.
All right, well, 9:08 left in the fourth quarter. 14-7 in favor of Gore, and you're watching the Bravado, game of the week here in Gore, Oklahoma.
Other wireless companies need 4-page brochures to explain plans that are too complicated and cost way too much. We are not like the others. We are Bravado Wireless. We offer one line of unlimited talk, text, and 4G LTE data for only $40 per month, with no minimum number of lines and no hidden fees. This is your year to be bold, connect fast at the best price. We live where you live, and we are proud to be a part of your community here in Eastern Oklahoma. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
First down give is to Dover. Runs off a left tackle, falls forward for a gain of 1. But that keeps the clock rolling here, under 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Gore Pirates are nursing a 14-7 lead. Second down and about 8. Right around midfield. Ball on the left hash as Gore sets up in the I formation. 2 wide receivers to the right. The give is to the fullback that time, Gunnar Dozier. And nothing doing for Dozier as he is brought down by Jacob Kimball.
And that play right there has not worked for them all night. Good job by the good job by the defensive tackles being able to snip out those fullback dives and being able to keep them from minimum yardage.
Kimball getting his name called for the first time on the Haskell D, and that brings up third down in about 8. Just on the other side of the 50, Shanks fakes it to Dover, keeps it himself, but that will not be enough for a first down. He'll come up a few yards short, bring up fourth down, and if you're Gore here, do you play the field position game?
In my opinion, especially with you being up by 7, I think you have to. You kind of gave yourself no choice there just to protect the lead, because if anything happens, you put this Haskell Haymakers offense in great field position.
Haskell has had a hard time moving the ball against the Gore defense as well, so that makes it an easy decision for the Pirates. Jacoby Goldsby, the quarterback, back deep for the Haymakers. With a great punt. Not as great as I thought it was, but it'll go out around the 20-yard line. It had enough pace on it. It was just a little too far left. It'll be 80 yards between Haskell and the end zone. Then get an opportunity to tie this one up.
The 29-yard line, where Haskell will take over 1st and 10.
It's going to be interesting to see what Haskell does offensively to try to tie this ball game up. It seemed like that As awkward as it looked, but that Zane Adams in the backfield as the quarterback looked like it had some success and had some promise.
Yeah, he was running downhill, and it was hard for the Pirates to tackle him. Goldsby will be in at quarterback right now. Off to his left is Mason. And that will be a false start on the offense. It looked like Joseph Marvel got a little bit of a head start for the Haymakers. We'll have to see if he was drawing offsides. Under the lights on a Thursday night, as they're going to call the offsides against the Gore Pirates, a free 5 yards for the Haymakers, and that brings up first down and very manageable.
Yeah, it looks like the Gore defenders beat the Haskell Haymakers right tackled to the punch to jump off sides there.
Two wide receivers split out either side. The give is to Mason. Mason falls forward for a gain of about 2.
You can see that play right there. They pulled the left tackle and the left guard, trying to do a good job of creating a hole and finding some extra blockers. But again, William Mason, not being patient as a ball carrier and not allowing his blockers to get in front of him and pick up some of those guys that kind of get in his way.
Mason, just a freshman, so that vision may come with experience. As Goldsby keeps it, breaks a tackle in the backfield, bounces off of another one, and is all the way out to the 48-yard line. There is a flag on the play. Goldsby bounced it outside after being hemmed in the backfield. Was able to pick up a first down, but we'll have to see if that stands. Holding against Haskell will bring it back. And a promising play, once again, hampered by penalties, and that has been the Achilles heel of the Haymakers all game long.
They trade positives for negative every time they touch the ball, and you just cannot continue to do that if you're going to want to win a ball game.
Clock rolling, about 6 minutes left to go. Give is to Mason, rumbles and tumbles ahead, and you can see what the Haymakers want to do. They want to be able to establish the run game between the tackles, but hasn't been very successful today.
Yeah, and it just kind of seems like the timing is a little bit off on their offense, especially these plays where the guards and the tackles are pulling to come over and help on the blocking assignments on the opposite side.
Haymakers call a timeout with a big third down pending. I want to take this time to say that Bravado Wireless is your home source for all of your wireless needs. With unlimited talk, text, and data for as low as $40 a month. For a limited qualifying offer, customers can receive a free Samsung S10e by making the switch to your hometown carrier. Restrictions apply. Please see store for details. I want to thank everybody participating in our Bravado Wireless crew tonight, bringing you high school football from Gore, Oklahoma. We will be in action tomorrow at 6:30 for Metro Christian versus Broken Bow. Great matchup there in Tulsa. We're not quite done here in Gore as it's 14-7 in favor of the Pirates, but the Haymakers have the ball with a 3rd down and 5. They ran a strange formation before with Zane Adams, a lineman and defensive end, at the quarterback position, but it looks like the normal quarterback, Jacoby Goldsby, will be behind center for this important 3rd down. He drops back, they're looking to pass. He's got a host of Gore Pirates in front of him that bring him down for a loss. First on the scene was Josie Smith.
And that was a big moment right there for this defense to hold and stand. And look at that, just a great effort by both of those Gore Pirates to get in the backfield and make a sack on a big 3rd down.
Josie Smith, James Bain able to get into the backfield, and with just over 5 minutes to play. This is a dangerous situation for Haskell. They got to punt it away because they're behind the chains, but they're kind of in that no man's land of you may not get the ball back. Sanders comes limping out from the sideline as the play clock winds down, and that'll be a delay of game.
Delay of game against the Haymakers.
That's going to move them back 5 more yards. When Greg Nation and the Haymakers look back on this film, they're going to see penalties really cost their team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't have the stats here in front of me, but I could probably tell you it's probably more than 50 yards of penalties.
Punts away. Dover tries to catch it overhanded. Most punters will try and basket catch it. He tried to catch it above his head, bounced off of his hands, and that could have been a dangerous situation.
Yeah, could have gave this Haskell's Haymakers offense another opportunity to try and come down and tie this ball game.
The Haymakers only have 1 timeout, so they can only stop the clock once. So you're guaranteed to take at least a few minutes off of the clock before you give them the ball back. You don't want to give them any gifts. I'm expecting here to see a healthy dose of James Dover for the Gore Pirates. Shanks under center. The Pirates are in the eye. 2 wide receivers to the near side as Shanks gives to Dover, bounces it outside near the numbers, and he's got space as he runs over a defender at the 40-yard line. The unfortunate man in his way was Fernando Gonzalez, but Dover was able to finish that one with a bang.
Truly, the outside was smooth sailing. You can see him finish off that run strong. Most people will just come out of bounds, but there's a flag on the play.
And once again, man, I feel like a broken record here. A flag on the play will bring what was a promising drive backwards. So Campbell alongside Dion Amade. We're winding down our Thursday night coverage of Oklahoma high school football here in Gore, Oklahoma. 4:30, 4:27 left on the game clock. 3 wide receivers spread out to the far side of the field. Shanks wanted to give the ball to Dover, but Dover didn't want it. Ball's on the ground, but Shanks is able to recover.
Yeah, too much indecisiveness right there in that backfield. Another zone read.
And when the Gore coaching staff looks back on this film, they'll see penalties as well, but they'll also see a lot of fortunate breaks that went their way.
Yeah, I was going to get ready to say the same thing. A lot of luck and fortune on their side this evening because they put the ball on the ground a couple of times, and a couple of times they've been lucky for it to bounce back in their lap.
Ball security, I bet, will be on Monday's practice agenda. Under 4 minutes to play as the play clock is winding down. These first game issues, you saw it even at the college level if you watched week 0 action. Miami and Florida, Miami, they were starting a younger quarterback, but even then you saw that, having a younger guy in first game jitters doesn't necessarily always work out well for you. All right, 14-7 our score, under 4 minutes to play here from Gore, Oklahoma. And you're watching the game of the week on Bravado Wireless.
Big wireless companies keep getting bigger and bigger, but their coverage where you live is still small. At Bravado Wireless, we provide the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month, right here in Eastern Oklahoma. You deserve to connect fast to your family, friends, and colleagues, wherever they are, with no interruptions and no excuses. Don't buy into big. Go bold. Go Bravado. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Shakes fakes the give to Dover. The play action finds Blue Stewart open towards the boundary. He's able to take the ball near the first down, but because of the penalty, the big gain does not result in a first down for the Pirates.
But that was a great grab by number 32, Blue Stewart. Able to put his hands out there and let that thing bounce right back into his hands and get up the field before he's tackled.
14-7 the score, 3rd down and 2. Pirates line up in the I formation on the left hash. Dover dots the I. The give is to him. Hit right near the line of scrimmage, falls forward, and this one is going to depend on the spot. The line judge on the near side of the field has him just short of the 45-yard line, which is the line to gain. That'll bring up 4th down and 1, and the game could hinge on this moment right here, Dion.
And I think if you're the Gore Pirates, the way you've been running the ball all game long, I think you have to go for this. I mean, I know that 3rd down was a manageable situation, but you got to give your offense another opportunity. I think that's what they're going to do here.
This could decide the game. 3 minutes exactly left in the game. The give is to Dover, hits the line of scrimmage, falls forward. They spot him past the 45. That'll be a first down, Pirates. And with 2:55 left in the game, the play clock winding, that could just be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, that was a good, strong run by Dover there. It wasn't a lot. There was some penetration in the backfield, but he does a good job of just using those strong muscles and forcing his way forward. With that initial impact, he gets the first down.
Dover dots the I once again. Ball still on the left hash as the tip of the ball hits the 45-yard line. Dover with the give, stiff arms one man, makes another man miss around the 40-yard line, steps out of bounds at the 40. That's not what you wanted to do, though, if you're Dover. Don't step out of bounds and stop the clock.
Yeah, you got to kind of be smarter than that, especially knowing the situation in the game that you're in.
We could have taken this clock down to under 2 minutes. Instead, got around 2:22 left. Clock stops, a gift given to the Haskell Haymakers, who only have 1 timeout left. I formation for Gore. Give is to Dover, bounces off left tackle, sheds 1 tackle. That was Jacob Kimball, who Dover shed, but Kimball recovers and is able to bring down Dover. But Dover makes up for his mistake by stepping out of bounds by gaining a first down. That could just about do it. Clock running, 15 seconds left on the play clock. Gore going with the I formation once again. They wait until 2 seconds left on the play clock to snap. Give once again to Dover, brought down around the numbers. Clock drops under 2 minutes. Pickup of about 4, and you can't ask for anything better on a end of a game drive if you're the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, 4 or 5 yards a pop. You kind of got this defense where it's to a point where they're worn down. They've been seeing these run plays come at them all night long. You can't blame them for being pretty exhausted by the effort of this offensive line and this rushing attack.
If you noticed, Gore has stayed on the left side all through this drive, and that's because they're running away from Zane Adams. Shanks fakes the give that time to Dover, keeps it himself, brought down, we'll say brought down at the line of scrimmage. That keeps the clock rolling, 3rd down and 5. Haskell does have 1 timeout. You got to assume they'll use it, but if Gore lets this play clock run all the way down, it'll be just over 40 seconds left in the game.
Under a minute left to go in the game.
All right, I formation. If you're Gore, you want to make sure to keep the ball tucked away. As Dover breaks one over left tackle, bounces off of 1 tackle. We'll have to see if he stayed in bounds, brought down by Mendoza.
Check out this replay as it seems like he's trying to stay inside, but he continues to bounce outside, and that does stop the clock.
But with the first down, that will do it. Gore can kneel this one out if they want to. And the Gore Pirates, pending a fumble here, and maybe a timeout, will move to 1-0 on the season. Shanks gets it, takes a knee.
Gore Pirates in the victory formation.
We'll have to see if the Haymakers call a timeout. They will not. And Gore moves to 1-0 on the season. Great job by the Gore Pirates. This game started out quick. We thought we might have a scoring fest on our hands, Dion, but the defenses prevailed towards the end of the game.
They certainly did, and they might as well be the Dover Pirates at that point, because Dover, with a heroic effort to take the game under his own accord, I mean, shaking up a little bit there in that first drive, but we never saw him pull himself out of the game. Just a heroic performance by him, and then that whole Gore team, especially Shanks, he did some incredible things from that quarterback position, but you got to give it up to that offensive line, because they created a new line of scrimmage time after time after time. Other than Zane Adams making some heroic plays here in the between the games, that Gore offensive line controlled things.
You see the replays brought to you by Bravado Wireless. Jackson Sanders is able to take the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, but that would be all of the offense that Haskell could manage, as that time it was Gunnar Dozier bouncing off tackle. Dane Perryman able to catch the play action that time. That would put Gore up 14-7, and that would be the last score of the game.
And after that, it was just a defensive effort by a number of people on both of these teams. There you see Dover coming down from his safety position and coming down hard. Right here, you see Shanks coming up the field, and just a shoestring tackle by Mendoza from his linebacking position. And then also on the outside there, you look at the man that we were calling his name all night, Zane Adams, with a hard hit, forcing a fumble, although they weren't able to hop on top of it. And you can see Zane Adams coming from behind, but look at this nice defensive play by number 2, Gonzalez, from his cornerback position. We really thought it was going to be an offensive ball game when things started off. I mean, we started off hot and heavy. It was fast, and points were about to start pouring in, but defenses made their adjustments, and they honed in.
Yeah, you could say that Gore really wanted to establish the run game in the beginning of the game, and they did that, pounding it forward with Dover. But then both defenses adjusted, like you said, kind of packed the box. Neither team was really able to get the throwing game going.
It does leave you to think, though, and maybe a question in your head. If Jacoby Goldsby starts off this game, what are we looking at here? I mean, all these points were scored in the first quarter. You saw this touchdown from him that gets called back. That could have been a tie ball game right there. What if he would have started the game?
Right.
What kind of, maybe the rhythm of the offense would have been more in sync. Maybe things would have gone a little bit different for the Haymakers. But in football, there's woulda, coulda, shouldas. But at the end of the day, you look at the scoreboard, and that's all that matters.
All right, 14-7 is what the scoreboard says in favor of the Gore Pirates. What? (14-7), as I said, Gore with the victory. Seth Campbell alongside Dion, Amade, and Dion. We talked about Dover over and over and over again, but what makes him such an explosive back?
I mean, it's the fact that he's just an athlete back there. I mean, just the vision and the patience. That's one of the things that I mentioned for the Haskell running back. I mean, although he's a freshman and you're looking at Dover, who's a senior, you can see the experience from him, the patience, the quick feet, just the strength. I mean, you saw right there when they needed that first down, who'd they go to? Dover. They gave the ball, they put him in his hand, and he got the yards that they need. They're going to have to count on him a lot this season, but he's got a great surrounding cast as well.
It was a great night for football as we kicked off our coverage here on Bravado Wireless's Game of the Week on a Thursday night, a little bit different. And, hey, we will be back tomorrow. 6:30 is the time that the pregame show will start. we're going to be in Tulsa as Metro Christian will take on Broken Bow. 6:30. Hey, we'll be there. You should be there too. Well, that's going to be it from us here at Bravado Wireless. The score 14-7 in favor of the Gore Pirates. For everybody in our Bravado Wireless crew, I'm Seth Campbell. Thank you so much for joining us.
Y'all were killing us.